Elle Woods isn't afraid of a challenge, and neither is Laura Kittrell, who created and developed Prime Video's Legally Blonde prequel series, Elle. Released in 2001, Legally Blonde launched Reese Witherspoon from popular teen movie actress to global movie star as she played Elle Woods, the bubbly California sorority girl who gets herself into Harvard Law School to win back her ex-boyfriend. A smash success on arrival, Legally Blonde grossed almost $142 million at the worldwide box office and spawned a 2003 sequel film, a Broadway musical, and a 2009 spin-off straight-to-DVD film, Legally Blondes. With Legally Blonde being such a beloved IP that's still quoted 25 years later, fans are obviously protective of the franchise, meaning Elle has its work cut out for it. The new Prime Video series takes place in 1995, 6 years before the events of Legally Blonde, with a teenage Elle Woods, Lexi Mindtree, on top of the world. In the opening scene, she is celebrating her sweet 16 with dozens of her nearest and dearest at a pool party in her luxurious Los Angeles home and planning the best junior year of high school ever. Unfortunately for Elle, her dreams of achieving peak popularity, becoming co-leader of the cheer squad with her best friend Madison, Jessica Belkin, and having the most perfect first kiss with the most perfect guy, are crushed when her parents announce that, due to her plastic surgeon father Wyatt, Tom Everett Scott, botching the nose job of an up-and-coming actress, they need to lie low, which means moving to Seattle. All the high-pitched crying in the world can't save Elle from trading the sunshine and blue skies of LA for the rain and clouds of Seattle, where, in 1995, grunge reigns supreme and pink is practically outlawed. At her new school, Elle is instantly disliked by her dour, plaid-wearing peers, whom she vows to ingratiate herself with. If this sounds familiar, it is, and the pilot of Elle does little more than retell the plot of Legally Blonde, swapping Harvard for a Seattle high school. It made me, a huge Legally Blonde fan from the moment it was released, want to rewatch the movie rather than tune into the next Elle episode, and made me initially question why it exists if it's just going to copy its source material. However, like Vivian Kensington and the other Harvard law students, I was eventually won over by Elle and Elle, with its heart and indefatigable underdog spirit. Any series with the protagonist's name as its title can only be as good as its lead actor, but that goes double when the character is as iconic as Elle Woods. While Mindtree may not quite have the megawatt charm of Witherspoon, a nigh impossible feat, she has more than enough charisma to carry Elle, and it's through her performance that it becomes clear the series is far more than a lazy capitalization on popular IP. The optimistic determination Witherspoon first instilled in Elle Woods is present in Mindtree's portrayal, but she also adds an extra dose of earnestness and naivete, differentiating the teenage character from her sorority president counterpart. When trying to help raise money for the school's underpaid support staff, Elle publicly praises the good deeds of Secretary Donna, Amy Peets, a low-key Robin Hood who breaks rules like stealing from the school's petty cash so a student can afford lunch, only for Donna to get fired for her crimes. Mindtree also has superb chemistry with anyone she shares the screen with. Elle's mistake is the kind of innocent recklessness only a teen is capable of, and one of the only examples in the Legally Blonde franchise of the protagonist's actions having drastic consequences for others, not just herself. While she suffers myriad humiliations as a fish out of water, Elle always has her privilege to fall back on. But the same can't be said for people like Donna, and Elle adds a lot of depth to the Legally Blonde universe by pointing this out, from the first episode no less, more than the movies ever have. Beyond her excellent characterization, much like Witherspoon, Mindtree also has superb chemistry with anyone she shares the screen with. Though her new Seattle classmates react to her with various levels of disdain, from activist skateboarder Dustin, Zach Looker, to mean girl Kimberly, Chandler Kinney, Elle sees what's special in each of them, making every one of these relationships unique, which is especially important when virtually all the characters don the same grunge uniform. Also similar to Witherspoon, Mindtree's best scenes as Elle are with the character, who is her most polar opposite. In Legally Blonde, that was the straight-laced Vivian Kensington, Selma Blair, and in Elle, that's Liz Gabrielle Policano, the zine-writing, music-obsessed anti-Elle Woods. Though Liz is much less antagonistic toward Elle than Vivian, she's driven absolutely bonkers by the California blonde, only for Elle to totally disarm her and expose Liz's soft side. These funny yet incredibly sweet scenes wouldn't be possible without the chemistry between Mindtree and Policano. Whether organizing a pep rally or helping to uncover the school's sketchy secrets, Elle goes all in on everything she does. It takes a special kind of actress to pull off that level of enthusiastic ambition, and with Mindtree, the series picked the right girl. Any expansion of IP merits the question, is this really necessary? Especially because Elle initially appears to be a shameless retelling of its near-perfect source material. Mercifully, most of Elle's major Legally Blonde retreading happens in the frustrating pilot episode, and the show, mostly, dials it back to fun Easter eggs. The scented pink paper makes a triumphant return in future episodes. However, for die-hard Legally Blonde fans, there's the issue of canon. In the 2001 movie, Elle Woods presents as a proud California girl who has rarely, if ever, left the Golden State, let alone lived anywhere else. There's also the fact that Elle attending Harvard was the first time she had to navigate the world outside her comfort zone. If the events of Elle are to be taken into account, however, the Legally Blonde protagonist wouldn't have had to learn the hard lessons she did, because she already learned them in Seattle, thus diminishing her character development in the film. Fortunately, though, those who can get past these greater franchise plot problems are rewarded with a charming teen comedy series that embraces nostalgia. The 90s references are stronger than the Legally Blonde callbacks, and old enough viewers may very well shed a tear for the much-mourned blockbuster video. The The series is also a love letter to the teen movie genre, with one of Elle's best episodes blatantly inspired by The Breakfast Club. There's also a hilarious nod to Mean Girls' cafeteria social hierarchy scene, in which Elle's new school has similar cliques, but she can't tell them apart because everyone is dressed the same. Watching Elle and her new classmates put aside their differences for worthy causes with nary a smartphone in sight is an escapist bomb. Elle is a welcome antithesis to the teen shows of today, from the bleak and gratuitous euphoria to bloated CGI-heavy sci-fi spectacles like Stranger Things. Like Elle Woods herself, the Legally Blonde prequel wears its earnestness on its sleeve, making it much more like Dawson's Creek than its contemporaries. The late Dawson's Creek star James Van Der Beek has a charming guest starring role as the school superintendent Dean Wilson. Watching Elle and her new classmates put aside their differences for worthy causes with nary a smartphone in sight is an escapist bomb to this current age of doom scrolling. And while the characters will likely never become as ingrained in pop culture as those in the movies Elle pays homage to, they are all multi-layered people who are so much more than the personas they present to the world. This is also true of Elle's adult characters, particularly her mother, Eva, the underrated June Diane Raphael in her best role to date. Like Elle, Eva is also unhappy with the move to Seattle, but she's even more isolated than her daughter as a stay-at-home mom in a new city where she doesn't know anybody. Eva's unhappiness plays a large role in the story, and the character is a significant upgrade from the unnamed, one-scene caricature she was in Legally Blonde. Of course, Elle being a teen series means young love will inevitably play a role. Though the romantic storylines are hardly the most compelling part of the show, they're sweet, genre-perfect, and arguably better than those in the Legally Blonde movies. However, this is where canon rears its ugly head, as any of Elle's high school relationships are a moot point because fans know she will end up with someone else. Ultimately, those who can get past the pilot and the canon problems will be rewarded with a light-hearted, bingeable series. When I got to the season finale, I whispered an Elle Woods-esque, yes, that Elle has already been renewed for season 2.